Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Plump Corp. Welcome back to Software Inc. Today, we are still developing the AMD Fulldozer. We're still marketing Plump Nova, marketing Bake, marketing Plump Studio 3D, and we are designing the Plump Nova X, which is coming along very nicely indeed. And of course, we have this massive building still, which is just the most ridiculous thing. It really is. I've also realized something, and this is something that's got me a little bit curious, shall I say? I've realized, and I've just realized this, just right now as I've sat down to record, technically, if I made my hardware teams work 1 hour less, so that there was a block of time where no one was in this building between each team, like 60 minutes where no one's in the building between each team, I could technically use this entire building for 3 teams, still working all the time, but there would be like, what, 3 times the number of people? No, it'd be more than that. It would be 3 times, basically each team, like how many people do we have in this building? That's the question. So, 97, 9 is 18, so that's 180, 194. Basically, let's assume we have nearly 300 people. Let's go with approximately 300 people. No, it's 291. 291 people, I think, in this building. We could have 291 people per team rather than total. 291 people, let's say 900 people working on hardware every day. That could be very interesting. That could also melt my PC. Now, this is something I've experimented with before. I can't remember what season it was in, but I did toy around with the idea before, in that I did attempt to have this huge amount of people. So it might be worth doing, it might not be, I'm not really sure. Let's have a look at this and see if there's anything that we can research. No, there isn't. Fair enough. How are we looking in the company market? We are in fact the most valuable company. Okay, well, what I think I'd like to do is start looking and developing more software, because we might as well. Bake didn't really do all that well. I want to make a game engine. I want to get all these things in here. So we're going to need, I mean, if I chuck all this stuff in here, 3D assets, so we need a 2D editor, a 3D editor, and an audio tool. So these 3 things here we need to make for a game engine. Let's see what exactly we can do. Can I add all of this stuff? I can. Okay. So what I'll do is go in-house with this. We'll make an in-house 2D editor. This is going to be, I really don't know. It's not really a studio. It is a 2D editor. We need it for, I mean, the price can be anything, really. I'll just set it to 100. Why not? We'll put this on the Dev 1 server. We're going to add it to, I guess I should make an operating system to run my games on as well. Let's do that. Let's make an operating system. Then we'll make the editors and stuff like that for the operating system. That seems like a much better idea. So let's just add all of this stuff to the operating system, plug and play. We're not doing touch, HD audio, all that stuff. There we go. The server it's going to run on will be the process servers. The SCM is Dev 1. Make this £300. And I guess it's going to be Plump Power. There we go. Or Plump OS or Plump OS. We'll go with Plump OS. There we go. Plump OS. So it's a computer. Oh. I guess we are a hardware manufacturer, so doing PC operating systems would be a good idea. Also, if you're hearing some noise, I'm just moving my mic. It was a little bit too far away. I reckon, actually, yeah, computer operating system is fair. I need to reselect all that stuff. There we go. So just chuck all of that in there. HD audio, etc., etc. £300. We're going to give this to the A team and the B team to get both of those guys working on this. So we'll start developing that. It's an in-house product. No. Why is that in-house? What does that say? If you won't be able to sell it or license it, do you want to continue? No, I don't want to make an in-house operating system. That seems a bit silly. So go back to operating system. We're going to have to set all this again because apparently it carried over the in-house thing from the previous thing that we wanted to make. So do all of that. £300, original IP, etc., etc. We didn't make one before, did we? No, we didn't. So there we go. The two teams, Plump Boss, operating system, develop. Let's not bother marketing it. There isn't really all that much point. And we should now see we have a bunch of people arriving to go to work and a bunch of people going home as well. I love that. I really do. I love seeing that many people coming into work here. It really is just so ridiculous. It really is. It is also super tempting to hire enough people to fill up the entire building and shift those guys about. Because what I could do is set, like, hardware 1 is 8 until 4 or 8 until 3. These guys are 4 until 11. These guys are 12 until 7. That's so tempting. That is so tempting. But I feel like that might be way too many people. How many chairs do we have in here? Let's do it with one of the teams and see what happens. Let's just do it with one of them. So we have how many chairs? Select furniture types. 32. So 96 of each, basically. So if I set that room, that room, that room, that room, that room, and that room, and switch team to hardware 3. Okay, so we switch that team to hardware 3. We're going to go to hardware 3 and do 96, 96, 96. Set that to minus 32 because I made that mistake before. Oh, this could be interesting. We'll force those rolls. Let me just look at automation. Yeah, that was minus 10. Okay. So hardware 3, then automation on you, minus 32. All right. So we should see hardware 3 grow massively. Yeah, 161, of course, and it's another, the game has frozen, there we go, 225, and it's frozen again, it's still frozen, 289, is it going to freeze again? I don't think it is, I think we're good. Yeah, we're good. Alright, so 288 people are going to be working on hardware. I'm going to want to change those times a little bit. Hardware 3 comes in at 1. I'm going to say 1 a.m. so that hardware 2 has time to get lost. I'm curious to see what's going to happen here. Because this is the point of the game. I mean, if you've seen me play Soft Drink before, you know that once I get a lot of money, I don't give a damn anymore. So this will be interesting. These guys are going to be going very shortly. So they are, oh boy. There's hardware 3 showing up. The buses are filling up. Yeah, no wonder. Okay, there's the frame rate tanking. They're all leaving. There's everyone in. So that is ridiculous. This video is gonna be 60 FPS on YouTube. It is definitely not 60 FPS anymore. I can tell you that for free. But that, ladies and gents, is ridiculous. It's back up to 60 FPS now, it should be, ish. Wow. That's maybe a little bit unnecessary. Maybe just a little bit. Maybe we want to just, cut that team down again. Okay, so Hardware Team 3 has been cut back down to, have a reasonable number of people in it. We should see all of them, showing up to work any second. Why are you're my 3 leaders. I'll accept and close, I assume. There we go. So Hardware 3 is showing up. There we go. And that's, well, where did they go? Where did they all just disappeared again? Interesting. Okay. Yeah, basically the reason I decided not to keep them was fairly simple. It wasn't making much of a difference. So, yeah, we decided to get rid of all those people and stick with what we have here. And the AMD Fulldozer is coming along. I mean, these guys are all not that great at system, which is fair enough. But, I mean, Plump OS is coming along. The Fulldozer is coming along. Plump Nova is coming along. And I think it might be interesting to sort of toy around with these ideas a little more. Toy around with these like massive teams of people just a little bit more. And what also may be a good idea to do is hire 2 cooks here and have them come in at, say, 10 p.m. until 2 a.m. Or let's say 1 to 5. 1 a.m. until 5 a.m. Because that way, the teams working at night can actually get some food. So that seems like a fair idea there. It does mean that the hardware team 2 don't get much food, but no, they can deal with it. I'm also pretty sure these rooms here have been set to have hardware team 2 in it, haven't they? Switch team, that's supposed to be hardware 1. Then this and this and this are supposed to just be hardware 2. Then this, and this are just hardware 3. That's fine. So there we go. There's hardware team 3 coming in. We should see some cooks up here doing their thing, which is excellent news. It means hardware team 3 can in fact eat, which is lovely. And I reckon what we should do is maybe look into filling out some of these spaces again. It might. Who the hell are you? You're the A team. Okay. But yeah, it's wait a minute. You're the A team leader? Who are you? What are you doing in there? You're working any role? But I thought the A team was supposed to be in here. That's very, very strange. But yeah, I think it might be an idea to fill up these floors again. And maybe just get like a game dev team, like a small game dev team of some sort in here. It's that might be good. I don't know. I reckon I kind of want to make games, you know? I like making games in this. That's all. Oh, hello. 3D realistic hair. We need to research this. Let's give that to the A and B team. And set that to be the priority. So we'll do that. And we'll speed things up there. There we go. That's going through nice and quickly. Anything in here we don't have? Doesn't look like it, so that's fine. We'll not bother researching anything. What I will do, though, is I think I will look into a game dev team. So, let's manage teams. Let's go game dev. That's fine. So add, and we need a leader for that. So let's hire some employees. We want a leader. We want all of the spec. Want to look at cost. Want to get the highest skill. Someone that's great. You are generous and optimistic. You are absolutely hired for my game dev team. So there we go. Carol Welch. Welsh? I assume that's Welsh, but I'm going to call it Welch because that's a much more unpleasant way to say that. So hire you. Then we want to go to game dev. We want to go to employees. We want to set you as the leader. Then educate you in HR management for 3 months, and that should be good. So what we'll do is set this, and this as the game dev studios, and that should already be designers, programmers, and artists, and then leader. Okay. So that's the game dev studio, but what else do we want is the question. I mean, what else can we do? If we look at all of this, we have stuff like games, I guess office software, Office, CMS, and antivirus can sort of be covered by the A and B team, same with the editors and all that stuff, so I guess we kind of have everything we need. We already have some substantial, hardware teams, so maybe a computers team, like a construction team, would be an idea. Assembly is basically what I'm thinking, an assembly team. So I think that could work. Let's go for assembly. Is that how you spell assembly? I'm going to go to Google. Assembly. Yeah, it is just B-L-Y at the end. Okay, that's fine. So that's the assembly team. We'll add you. And we'll go to hire employees. We want another leader. We want to spend a bunch of money. Skill, Lee Ellis. You're good. You're short-tempered and naive. But Janet Russell is a naive flirt. So I guess you are hired for the assembly team. Let's hire you. And again, you're going to be set as the leader. So change your role to lead. And then educate you in HR management for 3 months. And I think the assembly floor could probably change a little bit. Actually, in saying that, we do need every stage of development for assembly as well, so maybe just keeping it the way it is would be a better idea. Yeah, we'll just keep this the way it is. We'll just set these 3 rooms to the new team, which is assembly. There we go. And we're good. So now we need to wait 3 months to get automation enabled for those guys. And then we're good, I guess. We also probably want to look into going to roads and go down a little bit. There we go. So roads, we want some horizontal parking. We'll just take it up that way because why not? There we go. So that's all filled in quite nicely. I'd like a bit of road there, I think. Bit of vertical parking there. And a little bit of road just there as well. Because I think that's kind of nice. I think it works. All right. So that's a whole bunch of new space for people to park. We shouldn't need to worry about buses anymore. I don't really think we had to worry about them before anyway. But, you know, just a whole bunch more space. That'll hopefully keep people nice and happy. There's the 3rd hardware team coming in. The Fulldozer still taking its time. The Plump Nova X still taking its time. But I'm definitely excited to see what we can do. Especially once we get the game devs in and once we get the assembly team in. Well, the good news is that this patent here is actually done. So we managed to get the realistic hair one there. Let's also just make sure that we haven't missed out on anything else, which we haven't. So we now have most of these except for that one, which is fine by me. Got a little bit of money from that one. Got a little bit of money from visual scripting. I reckon we're doing pretty well for ourselves. We still haven't got the leaders for the assembly or game dev team back, unfortunately. But that's all right. We'll get them back eventually. I think they'll be back in May 1995. It's, you know, it's really weird thinking of the 90s. They really don't seem as long ago as they were. Like, I think of May 1995. I'm still in the mindset. It's like, oh, it was 10 years ago. It wasn't. It was a bit longer than that. It really weirds me out. It really does. It's really strange. Plump Nova X is actually ready to develop there, which is great news. So it's moving into alpha alongside the Fulldozer, which has actually got higher priority than Plump Nova X. Just because if it didn't, these are going to take even longer. Let's not beat around the bush there. Let's be honest, they will take a while, but, you know, we'll manage. So how many people do we need per team here? So this room we need 6 designers, we need 6 programmers, and 6 artists. So 6 of each. So the game dev team, automation, we're going to do 6, 6, and 6. And then we want, I guess, a budget of 100,000. And I'll force education, 6, 12, 18. There we go. Education on, preferred age as young as possible, please, and enable. So there we go. HR management is now enabled for the game dev team. Let's go to here, and we'll do the same. So 100,000. Force the roles. We want 6 programmers, designers, and artists. Educate, and 18. So we should now see those teams both go up to 19 people. Once I speed things up. There we go. 7, 13, 19. Okay, so the game dev team will hopefully be educated nice and quickly. Well, not nice and quickly, but they'll be educated nonetheless. So that they'll become a little bit better. It might also be a good idea to chuck both of those teams, for the time being, onto Plump OS, just to get a few more people working on those. So that includes, you know, assembly and game dev. We'll put all teams on it. Just to, just to keep things moving along, you know? Because I reckon, you know, doing some work is going to get you experience as well. So these guys are all able to do their thing. We've got the designers working at the moment. We have, a lot of them went to lunch there. We have these guys now working. I mean, Plump OS is coming along pretty quickly now. So this is good. This is good. And the Fulldozer is just needing system. And that actually makes me a bit curious. Are my hardware teams lacking, system? Not really. Which is interesting. Like, it seems like they kind of are, but they're not. I mean, my programmers, if I look at all of my programmers, the system is kind of maxed out. So that is really strange. Let's go to -96 on this so we can educate as many people as possible, because that's probably part of the problem as well. is that we're educating groups rather than anything else. So minus 96. Basically, there is the potential here to send everyone to get educated at the same time, which we don't necessarily want to do, but at the same time, I kind of do. I think it could be interesting to have everyone off getting educated at exactly the same time so that we can, get better people in here, get better teams in here, and see how that goes. For example, I mean, there's not that many people into work today for Hardware 3, because a lot of them, I assume, I hope, had better be at class. Vacation. Okay, so a few of them are on vacation, quite a few of them in class, quite a few in vacation. I guess July is their vacation month as well, so that's fine. But yeah, quite a few of them are also in class. We're probably going to see quite a few of Hardware 1 in class as well. Yeah, not as many as I thought, actually. Definitely not as many as I thought, but that's okay. They're getting there. They're definitely getting there. We're still making millions from Plump Nova. We're not making anything from Bake. We can probably end marketing on that. Unless we want to port it. We could look at porting Bake. If we go with release, it is a recent one. It did end up making a profit, but not that much. What if we port it? What if we port it to everything? What if we just go like, let's just put Bake on everything and see how that goes. So I'll put the B team on that, I think. Then take the B team off of the operating system. And just give the B team the porting job. Although they're not there at the moment. I guess they're on holiday, aren't they? That's probably what's going on there. So the B team will come in tomorrow to a brand new job. We may also want to then go back to Bake and start marketing it again. So if we do all of this and give that to marketing, we might actually see the sales go up if it's put onto different systems. I didn't really think about that. I had actually completely forgotten about porting, which is something we actually should stay on top of. We have things like Plump Studio 3D. That could probably do with being ported to some newer operating systems. That might be worth doing. I did actually realize I can put the B team on Plump OS and Bake, the Bake port, because the programmers are in charge of the port and the designers are currently working on Plump OS. An employee is stressed. Make sure you don't overwork them. Who's stressed? You're in Hardware 1? I mean, you are sort of being overworked, I'll give you that. If you're a programmer in any of the hardware teams right now, you are being overworked, that's for sure, but that's kind of the way things are going to have to work around here. Unfortunately, it is actually tempting to put some of the hardware guys, like the hardware designers, on the operating system right now, because they're not really doing much else. But I mean, what else? Is there anything else? I need to keep my eye on this to make sure I'm not missing anything. I don't seem to be. Distribution channels. Oh god, there's quite a few of them here. Is there... I feel like there's more of these than I remember. Maybe not. I don't know. I've got deals with most of them, so it's probably fine. Let's see. So we should probably look into another piece of hardware, because the designers in the hardware teams really aren't doing anything. So we're in the process of releasing a processor. We're currently making a motherboard. A graphics card could be an interesting bet. I mean, if we do all of this stuff, put some fans in there. No, GPU's not really all that advanced yet. Motherboard's still sort of doing its thing. I guess we could look into storage. I mean, going for all of this. I mean, that's going to take more than a year. That is, I guess, a more advanced piece of storage. It has, yeah, it's got one more thing than the previous one we released. And it's still a hard drive. What else can we do? We're doing motherboards. We're doing some consumer grade motherboards, right? Like the motherboard we're doing, it's a consumer grade motherboard. We could look at cases, I guess. So that's less than a year. If we look at, what about monitors? What have we got in monitors at the moment? Like if we go for all of this, if we go for Plump Vision 1080, which followed up a previous one, we can do 16 colors, all that, okay, so 256 colors. Basically, we can do a slightly more advanced screen than the previous one. So I reckon this is going to be the Plump Vision 1080X. That seems like a good idea. So the Plump Vision 1080X. Or the X80. Because X is the Roman numeral. I just hit my microphone. Good job. Because X is the Roman numeral for 10. I'm actually going to call it the X80. That's the name of it. The X80. That's amazing. That's interesting. I don't know what I'm going to call it when we get 4K. Like, I've got no idea. 2003, we get 4K. Yeah, I don't actually know. 2020, we get organic LED. Good lord. What would we call it? 2006, we get that. So, I mean, 2160. I mean, it's 2160p. The 4K, let's think. So, we can't call it 4X because that's 4K is, I don't know, it's the 4X80. There you go. Because, fun fact, you can fit 4 1080p windows on a 4K screen. So I reckon the 4X80 is what we'll call it once we make one in 2003. That ought to be interesting. Let's make this £250. That seems fine. It's a default monitor. It's a follow-up to the previous one. The SAM is going to be Dev 1. And we're going to give this to Hardware 1, 2, and 3. There we go. And develop. Not going to market it just yet. Let's minimize. I can't actually seem to minimize any of these, which is annoying because I kind of need to. They're a bit... The windows are a little... Oh, you right-click. Really? Then you like... Oh, that's to rearrange them. Interesting. I didn't know you could do that. So you right-click to minimize them these days. Fair enough. Let's put my marketing there. Let's put the X80 up there. We'll see how that goes. That shouldn't really take that long to do. Porting bake's taking its time, but that's fine. So I imagine the X80 is going to be done super quickly. Like, it must, yeah, it's getting there. It's not going to take that long. It is another hardware release, which is important. The Fulldozer, I'll expand because it's super close. We just need to get that system done. And we're actually doing really well porting Bake as well. This is good. This is progress. This is what we need to see. Oh my good lord. Plump Nova, for whatever reason, just made $1 billion. It just hit £1 billion, and I don't know how, but it did. If we go to profit, yeah, 1.8 billion. Looking at details, yeah, this money you're seeing here was like sitting at 6 million. That's what that is. What was it? 1 billion? 1.0 billion. I don't know why. Did the Tory X just get released? It's currently unavoidable. Let's look at recent releases. All software, the Tory X. When did that come out? Release date. The Tory X came out in 1994. Did something just come out for... No, it's a computer. Why have I just started making... Yeah, the Plump Nova has just shot up to be the most profitable thing to ever exist. I just made $1 billion overnight. My servers can't actually handle the Plump Nova right now. Yeah, because both my servers are actually running at 100% load, which is interesting. So my process server needs to be almost 3 times as powerful as it currently is. I think it's probably about time that we look into a basement for this place. Alternatively, we could look into just another floor. But I don't know. We'll go for another floor. Why not? We'll make a giant bloody server room up here. So go for this kind of thing. And then unify that style for that entire space. Like so. And where do the elevators go? So the elevators go there. 1 and 2 and 3. So that's the elevators. What I'd like to do is this kind of thing. So if I do that, then 2, and that way, and that way, and that way. I just like the idea of this weird kind of space leading to this giant server room, because that's what we're going to have here. Let's see. So if I do that and that, Those doors will lead to the server room. Then we'll do, let's see, that kind of thing. Then this can be, I guess, some bathrooms or something. I don't see why not. Bathroom, 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 bathroom. All right. We'll go ahead and door. Let me just grab the style for the bathrooms as well to make them all nicely unified. So unify that style. That's fine. We need some lights in there. This is going to take a moment. Unless I can very quickly clone a bunch of servers, which hopefully I can, because I really don't want to have to try and place all of these servers one by one. Because that would kind of suck. So we'll soon find out. Let's put that there. And I guess this is the space that we're going to be working with. Let's see. I'm not going to bother with Windows. There's no point. There's really no point in putting Windows in here. So if I just do an entire line of servers like so, just along this entire section of wall, like that, can I then select all of them and duplicate them? I can. Beautiful. That's kind of what I needed there. So I should now be able to sort of place them like that. Then I want to duplicate those again and place them like that way, then there, then that way. This is ridiculous. This is the most ridiculous thing. Okay. So now we have some spaces being blocked out. So if I delete those two servers, delete those two servers, and delete that server. Why has one not placed down there? That's very strange. Then delete those two servers as well. So we now have that giant server space. That's hopefully just gonna be enough for kind of what we need for like processes, I guess. So if I select all of those and just do, let me see, where have I made a mistake? There needs to be a server up that end. So I need one just there. If I now select all the servers and link them, so that's all one server, right? That's all connected. Yes, it is. Server 251, because of course it is. What we'll go ahead and do is go to construction. I want a nice double door. And this is going to be another server room. So let's go servers and just another giant line of servers down here, because that's kind of what we need in here. So do this kind of thing right the way down to there. Select everything in the room, then duplicate and plop it there and there and there and there. Then that will hopefully, if I select all of those and link them together, hopefully we now have something powerful enough. So 8.5, what does the dev 1 server need? 3.3, so that can be the new dev server. So dev 1 and process sort of need to go. So this is the external process server. That's fine. So external process server and internal dev server. I spelled that right. Internal dev server. Rename. So dev 1, we're going to redelegate the selected to internal dev, and Plump Nova, we're going to redelegate selected to external process. So those servers are now fine. They are completely fine. We do need to cool this a little bit better, I imagine. Yeah, these servers are having a bit of a hard time. Fortunately, I can just go ahead and do, we'll put some lighting in there, and I can just put a bunch of fans on the walls. Okay, so giant, bloody giant server farm. There we go. That's, I think it's fair to say that that's what we needed right there. And it'll certainly do the job. It'll certainly power anything we need it to power. Any internal processes now have much more server space, and external processes also. Now, how much is Plump Nova going to make tomorrow? It's 1.3 billion. Because of course it is. Because of course it's going to make 1.3 billion. How many units has it sold? I haven't actually checked. 11 million. 11 million units. That's ridiculous. Most units sold ever is also Plump Nova, a motherboard. Interestingly, the Fulldozer is now ready for beta. So that's going to be fun to see how the Fulldozer goes. Have I over-designed you? No, you're just struggling with system again. Oh boy. Yeah, this is going to be interesting. Because it looks like the Fulldozer is going to take a while. Which is a bit of a shame, actually. It looks like the Fulldozer is going to take a really long time to get through beta. Unless I, like, up the priority significantly there. But, yeah, this seems like it's going to be an interesting thing. Getting 1.3 billion from one product. I've never seen anything like it before. I really just have never, ever seen anything like 1.3 billion from anything. 1.5 billion. If this was Road to 1 billion, I would be done. I would be so done with that right now. Oh my god. I don't know how to react. I don't know what to say. Like, there is never going to be a problem with this company ever again. Also, Bake being ported didn't really do much for it, unfortunately. But what we can do is if we end marketing on Bake, we can port Plump Studio 3D to these things. We'll assign that to the B team again. Let those guys do their thing. And see how that goes. I'm also I wanted the Fulldozer to release today. But apparently that's not going to happen. Because it really is just taking its time. Also, supporting Plump Studio 3D is actually doing wonders for it. I'm curious to see what kind of money it's going to make now that it's on already on 2 new systems. Also curious to see if we go up to 2 billion with Plump Nova. 1.29, okay. Plump Studio 3D, I think I actually took a hit there. Which is fine. That's fine. These things happen. Ladies and gents, I think I might leave it there for today, to be honest with you. I reckon we're probably getting towards, like, the end of this series. I mean, what's this, part 7? I think what I'll do is sort of stick with it until we get a lot, go through with that idea we had, where we make a bunch of internal hardware, and then we put it in a consumer PC that isn't an internal product. Because I'm curious to see what that would do. I also realize it might be a good idea to go ahead and unassign game dev and assembly. Well, keep game dev, get assembly off that project though. Let's get the assembly team working on a computer. We'll go with Plump Nova because it's got 21 million units sold. Hey. And interestingly, 2 companies have been releasing processors. We are going to be, when was the most recent release? 1995, so just a couple of months ago for these guys, with a good processor. It's doing alright. It sold a few units. We'll chuck that in there. We'll go for all of this stuff, of course, get a second CPU in there. So the case we'll go for will be most recent release, or maybe we want to go for maybe our own, maybe the Plump Tower. Because it was outstanding. It was a good thing. Storage, we're going to go for, I mean, nothing's really changed with storage, so where's the Plump drive? Or am I just not seeing it? Plump drive, I think I saw, there it is. Now, so put the Plump drive in there, then the PTX 100 as well. So, oh my god, that one made so much money. We'll put the PTX 100 in there. That seems fine. That'll be good. It's £150 for this PC. Assembly team's going to make it. This is going to be the PX1. Let's do the PX1. That's fine. It's a consumer PC. It's going to be on the internal dev server. And assembly team is going to be doing it. There we go. Let's get that developed. We're not going to market that just yet. It is probably a good idea to start marketing the Fulldozer. So let's give that to the marketing team. Start the campaign. We'll minimize that a little bit. And yeah, I'm actually really curious to see how the PX1 comes out. It is, we have a dedicated team working on making that kind of thing. We have the AMD Fulldozer that are probably coming out in a couple of years. It is really taking a long time there. And the X80 is actually really close. I want to get that into alpha before we wrap up this episode. It is getting really close, though. It's super close. Come on. And develop. There we go. So the X80's in alpha. That's not going to take too long to pull through the Fulldozer. Let's focus on the Nova a little bit more than the X80. Up the priority of you a little bit more. Plump OS as well, ready to develop. So let's give that to you guys and see how that goes. Again, Plump Nova, 1.3 billion there. The PX1 coming along super quickly as well, which is nice. But ladies and gents, I am going to leave it there for today. So thank you kind of for watching. This has been Software Inc. and Plump Corp. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!